Welcome. In this video, the event, Polarized Light of Girls Frontline will be summarized. Throughout the video, there will be spoilers for the story of Girls Frontline. If you don't want to be spoiled, please go and play the game. In the command room, Kalina reports that the train is stopped 5 kilometers from the quarantine wall, but no enemy signals are detected. The commander insists on holding this position as it offers a defensible 2.5 kilometer front between Lafir Bay and Lake Kluga. Despite Defy claiming to have secured the passage, the commander remains suspicious, treating everyone as potentially hostile. They order the train's cannons calibrated and charged, echelons disperse for cover, and HOCs positioned centrally to cover the defense line. Kalina asks if they are preparing to intercept the military, but the commander deflects, hinting at a larger scheme. An urgent message from Javier confirms their arrival at Peldiski, prompting the commander to demand the truth behind the mission. Javier reveals that the base holds the Starfish system, an old Soviet relic capable of activating pike nodes through the OGOS network. The military aims to seize this system, risking diplomatic fallout with Western Europe. To prevent the relic's activation, Griffin must hold the base until State 6 Vimpel troops and strategic bombers arrive. As the commander briefs both AR Team and Squad 404, they stress the urgency. AR Team will capture the coastal defense artillery for fire support, while 404 infiltrates to disable the quarantine wall's defenses. Dandelion stays on the train, boosting the doll's combat abilities and hacking enemy autonomous units. With only half an hour before the military's full assault, the commander fortifies the defense line with mines and explosives on the railway to delay enemy trains. The dolls dig in, building fortifications under Kalina's supervision. Meanwhile, AR Team speeds towards the base, navigating through a breach in the northwest section. RO coordinates the route, with Sop manning the vehicle's roof gun to fend off attackers. Dandelion, providing remote hacking support, plans to subvert the shotgun systems. As 404 prepares for their mission, 45's uncharacteristic tension unsettles her team. Despite their banter, they all know the plan, sneaking through air ducts to open the barrier gate. Could be a death trap if Paradeus ambushes them. Meanwhile, at the Griffin defense line, Thompson coordinates the squads, reinforcing positions and setting explosives, while recon teams engage hostile scouts. In the command room, the commander receives grim reports of bombardments and lost teams, forcing defensive echelons to remain hidden to avoid artillery fire. On the military's armored train, Yegor cautiously deploys mixed human and autonomous forces, relying on cannon fire to preemptively weaken Griffin's defenses, aware that the real threat may still be lurking unseen. 404 reaches the quarantine wall without resistance, surprising 45, who orders a perimeter scan. 9 detects no enemies, and they locate a sewer entrance blocked by a shutter. Opting to conserve explosives, 9 hacks the control ports, but the foul stench from the tunnel unnerves the team. As they enter, distant cannon fire signals the battle start, and they discover remnants of a past Sangvis-Paradeus clash. 45 deduces Sangvis failed to seize full control, leaving the wall's main gate exposed. Despite the dire situation, she insists on verifying Defy's coordinates before making contact, splitting the team to scout and guard the passage. Meanwhile, Dreamer betrays Destroyer, revealing that the mastermind has abandoned them. Paradeus Nidos ambush and overwhelm Destroyer's forces, easily bypassing their defenses. Hacked Sangvis units scatter in chaos, unable to resist. With her forces in dismay, Destroyer retreats towards the shoregun emplacements. Her desperate commands go unanswered as Paradeus tears through the remaining Sangvis ranks with merciless efficiency, leaving her on the brink of annihilation. At the Griffin defense line, the commander receives fragmented reports amidst heavy bombardment. With the military's armored units closing in, the dolls suffer devastating losses. The northern and southern lines struggle to hold, with echelons withdrawing under withering fire. Despite this, the commander orders a final defensive stand at the train, committing all reserves. As comms partially recover, they anxiously await word from 404. 404 reaches the coordinates and encounters Task Force Defy, who are holding the barrier gate with dwindling ammo. RPK-16, leading Defy after their original commander fell, confirms the gate is secure, but warns it won't last long. 404 links up with Defy and assists in eliminating Paradeus units inside the base. Despite 16's cynicism, 45 focuses on the mission, prompting 416 to open the gate and allow Griffin's reinforcements to enter. 16, with sardonic banter, offers AK-15's assistance, but 45 declines, preferring to operate independently. With the route synced, 404 pushes into the base to search for Angie and the rest of Defy. As Griffin forces struggle to hold the line, the military offers an ultimatum: surrender or be crushed. The commander refuses, rallying the dolls for a final stand. 45 and Defy secure the quarantine wall, allowing the train to evacuate the frontline dolls. Meanwhile, 16 alerts the commander to a breach in the northern quarantine wall, warning the military might outmaneuver them. With grim determination, the commander orders the train loaded with explosives and rams it into the barrier gate, creating a roadblock and cutting off military reinforcements. Elsewhere, AR team races towards the shore guns under heavy fire from Typhon units. Their jeep barely avoids enemy vehicles and reaches the bunkers first. As the military disembarks nearby, both sides dash into the complex, fighting for control. M4 leads the assault, determined to seize the control center, with Dandelion providing navigation. The dolls leverage their advantage in the confined bunker spaces. SOP and RO hold the entrance while Star clears the lower levels, ensuring no more military units breach the complex. M4 and her team fight their way through enemy soldiers, with RO and SOP holding their ground while Star pins down the main force. M4 charges towards the coastal artillery control room, narrowly avoiding bullets and swiftly eliminating foes, but a surprise knife attack slows her down. She races against a military team leader who uses grenades and cunning tactics, including blinding M4 with a flashbang and igniting her with petrol. Despite being engulfed in flames, M4 relentlessly pursues him. The soldier, mortally wounded by M4's gunfire, uses his last strength to activate the artillery, striking the enemy armored train and signaling the start of an all-out attack. Meanwhile, 404, still searching for Angie, encounters disturbing signs of a massacre and rising Sangbus corpses. They face M16A1, now controlled and allied to SF, who launches a brutal hacking attack, forcing 45 to confront her painful memories of UMP-40. Despite the emotional assault, 45 refuses to yield, but M16 commands the reanimated corpses to overwhelm them. As 404 fights back, 45 becomes separated from her teammates, her neural cloud drowning in a sea of black data, while their desperate voices fade away. 45 finds herself unexpectedly pulled into her neural cloud base layer, distorted by the simulated environment. She recalls Operation Butterfly, witnessing the chaos of SF's main factory, where she relives her painful memories. The scene rewinds, forcing her to face haunting echoes of her past self and cryptic voices urging her to live for her own sake. As the memories unfold, 45 relives the Griffin doll's raid on Lyco's lab, where Soviet officers arrest the researcher. But the operation takes a deadly turn when an unfamiliar transmission, activated by 40, triggers the SF's dolls to portray Griffin. 45 is forced to fight against her own allies, unable to comprehend the betrayal. With the factory in turmoil, 40 urges 45 to escape, promising that everything will change one day. Meanwhile, AR team battles military forces for control of the coastal artillery, while Dandelion hacks rogue SF units to aid them. Amid the chaos, Executioner launches a vengeful assault against the military, seeking retribution for Destroyer. Severely wounded, she refuses to retreat until Hunter unexpectedly arrives, revealing that the mastermind has abandoned them. With newfound defiance, the two SF commanders rally for a final stand. Elsewhere, Dreamer finds the defeated destroyer and, with cruel affection, taunts her helplessness. Contemplating executing her, quote-unquote stupid big sister, Dreamer is overtaken by an unexpected wave of emotion. She abandons her weapon, leaving Destroyer unconscious in the rain as both figures vanish into the storm. Still experiencing her memories, 45 grits her teeth, clutching 40's memento so tightly it begins to cut into her palm. Racing towards the exit, her only hope is to escape through the main door. But blocking her path is M16, Squadron 7's leader, slumped against the wall. Recognizing each other immediately, their terse exchange ends with 45 attempting to bypass her by unlocking the door. However, M16's sudden shift in tone and the cold, unexplainable glint in her eye puts 45 on edge. When M16 questions 40's whereabouts, 45's terse response, "She died," was met with a chilling accusation. Why was 45 unscathed? The brief pause before 45's reply was all the confirmation M16 needed. Both dolls open fire, diving for cover as bullets rain down. 45, wounded but mobile, realizes she can't match M16's elite specs. With her ammunition running low, her only chance is to use her speed to evade the relentless assault. Just as she's about to be cornered, Nine's voice pierces through the chaos, pulling 45 back to consciousness. She awakes to find 404 covering her, the battle over. Relieved but disoriented, 45 learns that M16 had vanished. Despite the reprieve, 45 remains resolute. With intruders' hacking attack possibly linked to M16's maneuvers, the squad prepares to pursue the SF leader. Though 416 warns of the risks, 45 is undeterred. She has to find the answers and face whatever comes next. Moving deeper into the base, 404 discovers strange symbols and lifeless SF units tangle with Nidos. The entire base seems eerily abandoned. As they advance, they locate Defy through the base CCTV cameras. Communicating through the internal system, 45 learns from AK-12 that the squad is pinned in a quarantine compartment after Paradeus and Sangvis clashed. With Defy cut off by signal blocking, 404 resolves to restart the power, despite the risk of reactivating the disabled enemies. As 45 throws the master switch, the base comes alive. Alarms blare, pipes groan, and the Nidos and Sangvis forces resume their frenzied battle. M4 and her team fight desperately at the coastal gun to support Griffin's retreat. With the cannon operational, M4 fires the first shell, but it misses the armored train. Igor, commanding the military forces, is thrown into disarray when the second shot strikes the rearmost train, causing a massive explosion. As the train burns and its soldiers scramble in the chaos, Igor orders a full-speed advance to crush Griffin. Meanwhile, RO warns of enemies' attempts to destroy the cannon, but M4 refuses to abandon their position, determined to buy the commander more time. As Griffin's remnants retreat, the rearguard volunteers hold the line. Despite knowing their fate is sealed, M82, CF-05, and Webley fight valiantly. With their ammo depleted, Webley hands them hidden explosives, and they set a trap in a crater. Sharing bittersweet jokes, they exchange last words before detonating the charges, halting the military's pursuit. From afar, Webley sings "God Save the King" before making her final stand. With the rearguard sacrifice complete, the commander orders the base entrance destroyed, cutting off the military's advance, but sealing the doll's escape route. The military, despite heavy losses, presses on with Igor's unwavering command. Finally, M4 and AR team reach Dandelion, who reveals a daring plan involving the Nidos and Sangvis forces. Dandelion, trusting M4 completely, merges her consciousness with the Nidos, soothing their hostility and gaining their allegiance. The once enemy dolls, now united under Dandelion, march out to buy Griffin time. Though M4 is conflicted, she trusts Dandelion's decision. As they advance into the base, M4 glances back at the Nidos, their black dressage catching the sunlight. In that fleeting moment, she feels an unexpected sympathy for former enemies, knowing they will soon be consumed by bloodshed. 404 pushes forward despite overwhelming odds. 45 uses the enemy's hacking attempts to backtrace their location, but discovers 10 or more Naito signals, far more than they can handle. Facing quarantine doors and EM interference, they split into two teams. 45 and 416 search for Angie, while 9 and G11 hunt the jammer. 416 confronts 45 about her reckless drive, suspecting she's motivated by guilt over a fallen comrade. Their clash ends in grim resolve, but the situation worsens when G11 is dragged into a ventilation duct by an unknown assailant. With no time for hesitation, 45 squeezes into the duct alone, determined to rescue her teammate and continue the mission at any cost. Crawling through the cramped air duct, 45 emerges into a spotless lab filled with suspension tanks, sensing a watchful presence despite no enemy signals. She spots a small shadow, gives chase, and discovers miniature Naitos dragging G11 away. After scaring off most of them, she encounters a brave, childlike Naito, but hesitates when she hears a familiar voice, Angie. Reunited with Angie, 45 learns the lab contains juvenile test subjects with neural clouds, once intended to become Naitos. Angie reveals that Defy is sealed elsewhere, and they must free the juveniles to escape. The younger Naito, introducing herself as Anna, offers to guide 45 into their neural space, where the children will assist in fighting off the Oga signal, potentially revealing more about Operation Butterfly and the ominous forces at play. As 45 enters the juvenile's neural cloud, she feels suffocated by its disturbingly organic nature. She discovers the children under attack by a dragon-like Oga signal, trembling in pain, while Anna, revealing herself as far sharper than she seems, furiously scolds 45 for her indifference. Though initially cold, 45 agrees to divert the attack, giving Anna a chance to free her friends. In the ensuing battle, 45's memories of Operation Butterfly resurface, replaying her deadly encounter with M16. Despite enduring countless simulated defeats, 45 realizes M16, desperate to recover her lost memories, is afraid of the truth she might uncover, setting the stage for her final confrontation. Wounded and trapped in her level 3 base layer, 45 encounters a simulated persona of UMP-40, born from a virus rather than a longing memory. Though initially reluctant, 45 accepts her help to reverse penetrate M16's neural cloud, exploiting a shared memory gap tied to AR Team's human origin. With external support from Anna, they breach the opposition's defenses, but 45 is confronted by Eliza, Ogas's true form, controlling M16. Eliza reveals she once saved M16 from a neural meltdown in exchange for seeing her father one last time. She warns 45 not to interfere with the coalescence, an impending event to expose the truth behind everything. Though shaken by the revelation, 45 returns to level 2, resolves to rest, and lets Anna report to Angie. The battle rages at the barrier gate, with the military's creeping barrage pinning down SF and Paradeus remnants. Amidst the carnage, Igor deploys massive, swift-moving mechs to breach the quarantine wall and storm the submarine base. As the military gains ground, the commander orders immediate detonation of partially planted explosives, failing to fully destroy the entrance. AR Team, now joined by Angie, pursues the invading mechs while Griffin forces hold the line. Meanwhile, Kay makes a desperate radio plea to Vimple Cobalt 3 unit, invoking his Stasi authority to demand fire support. With no immediate confirmation, Griffin's battered dolls brace for a last stand, determined to buy time for the bombardment as the commander steels themselves for a fight. Angie contacts M4, who confirms Defy and Dandelion are with them. Dandelion offers support by controlling SF forces. M4 senses Eliza nearby, likely attempting to link with the starfish, while Angie warns of M16's presence deeper in the base. On the battlefield, M1 Garen's team uses explosives to delay the military but faces mounting casualties. Amid the chaos, Angie proposes flooding the base by detonating 4 seawater valves to trap Yegor's mechs. The commander and Kay head out with explosives, leaving Kalina in charge despite her protests. Yegor's mech eventually breaks through SF resistance but is intercepted by M4's team, who slows him down. While Angie pursues Yegor, massive explosions rock the base. In the final moment, M16, glowing with an ominous blue light, emerges to confront her former teammates. Kay and the commander evade the disorganized military, using suppressive fire from Kalina's units as cover. Slipping past enemy squads, the commander infiltrates a bunker, kills the officers, and plants explosives at the sea valves. Wounded by a grenade blast, they prepare for a last stand but are saved by 404, who cut down the enemy. With support from RO and AR team, Griffin forces break through, rescuing juvenile Nidos, clones Paradeus created for OGOS network access. As the base crumbles around them, M16 drives military mechs into the elevator shaft and leaps after them. The commander, preparing to detonate the sea valves, is pinned down and signals for more help. M4 orders AR team to evacuate and rescue the commander, while she goes after M16 alone. Confronting her former comrade, M4 pleads for her return, but M16 refuses, challenging M4 to stop her by force. Meanwhile, Yegor, isolated and battling Defi's dolls, is ambushed by Angie. RPK-16 sacrifices herself to cripple Yegor's mech, and AK-12 delivers the final blow, leaving him immobilized. As the sea floods the base, Yegor accepts his fate, clutching a photo of his family. As seawater continues to flood the base, M4 confronts M16, who reveals her actions are driven by old and new promises. M16 urges M4 to leave, but M4 refuses, determined to stop Eliza from merging with the Starfish system. Meanwhile, Eliza, tormented by her creator, Lyco's recorded regrets, learns she was designed with a failsafe preventing full connection. Desperate, she reaches towards the system, ignoring M4's cries to stop. M4 pursues her into the digital void, vowing to uncover the truth without succumbing to the Source's control. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter and Blue Sky for updates, and please check out my other Arknights and Azure Lane videos as well.